giving you access to share secure frequencies.
It's exclusive, bringing that exclusive information to the nation. And I've been playing a lot of this Marvel's Avengers campaign. And I'm a true gamer, so you know I had to put it on the hardest difficulty. Because I love a challenge, and I feel like playing on the hardest difficulty is the best way to play. It's just more fun that way. Even though I've been down a lot, I've been having a blast playing it. Like, this game way more fun than I thought it was going to be. Now, I haven't got that far into the game yet, but I learned a lot so far, and I figured I'd get some tips and tricks to help you guys along the way as you beat the game on Brutal if you accepted the challenge as well. Now, 9 times out of 10, playing on Brutal difficulty, you're going to die a lot, but the best thing to do is to learn from your mistakes and learn why you died. Like, learn what you could have did to avoid dying. So what you could have did to dodge that move you didn't dodge, because 9 times out of 10 that's why you died, because you didn't dodge one of your enemy's moves. So I got a lineup of tips here that'll help you get through some of the tougher parts of the game. Just get through the game, period. Some generalized tips for the most part, but I want to start on some tips with Incredible Hulk, since that's what I've been playing with a lot these last few missions. Now, I'm sure I don't have all the heroes unlocked yet, but Incredible Hulk, he probably gonna be one of my favorite heroes to play in this game. Now, for the few quick tips I got for Incredible Hulk. When you're fighting and you have like that last enemy, it's good to hold RT, grab them first, grab the last enemy, so you're carrying them, and it's good to hold RT and spam Y until they're dead on the last enemy, so you can have health for the next group of enemies you need to fight. This will help a lot, especially if no healing capsules are around, which I'll touch upon here soon. The next tip I have for Incredible Hulk, when you're fighting with him, when you run into those guys called Prime Adept Synthoids, I think I said that right. The purple guys, when you go against those guys, their health bar is pretty thick. They can be super difficult. They sit back and shoot you, and they do a bunch of damage, especially on Brutal. I'm not even sure how much damage they do on any other difficulty, but they do a bunch of damage, and they can be pests, making you have to retry a lot on certain parts of the game. So I found the easy way to kill them pretty quick. So if you have your RB ability, you can stand in front of them and use your RB ability. That'll knock them down, an easy knockdown. And at that point, you want to hold X to grab them. And at that point, you want to use them against the other enemies. Spam X and Y to not only kill them, but kill the others around you. And if they're the last one, of course, spam Y until they're dead. Like, just do it until they're dead. It's very much so worth it to get past them, because they can kill you a lot. Now, if you don't have the RB ability, the best thing to do is to break their guard or get them juggled in the air with maybe a heavy attack or one of your abilities that have a knockup. Break their guard and make them vulnerable. Get them on the ground. The main thing here is to grab them once you get them on the ground and break their block, and that way you can use them to kill other enemies and kill them faster and much easier than having them shoot you in the face the whole time. Now, speaking of breaking guards, that brings me to the next category right after I give this last tip with Incredible Hulk. And keep in mind that I can do a whole video on Incredible Hulk combos and tips and tricks with that character. I could do a whole video on that, so comment below and let me know. And if we get enough people asking for that, I'll do that as well, along with other heroes as I play them. But for the last tip on Incredible Hulk, his grab ability is very important. Keep in mind I'm early in the game, so I don't have all the abilities yet, but once I do unlock them all, I definitely can drop a video on the best combos and things of that nature. Like, I've been doing some crazy juggle combos and everything with Incredible Hulk. Like, love them. But again, to get to the last tip I have for Incredible Hulk here is to guard break. Like, guard break with other enemies. So grab an enemy, and those blockers that you have to go against, they can be pretty annoying, blocking all your hits. You can use other enemies to guard break easier. And also, along with that same tip, well, I guess you could count this as a different tip. Along with that, when you do grab enemies, that's the best way to lifesteal with your RT ability. So So when you grab an enemy and you're swinging on everybody, be sure to be holding RT so you can get a lot of that health that you lost back and keep you alive as you fight through that group of enemies. Now for the rest of the more general tips to help you throughout beating the game on Brutal. This game might seem like a spam attack, like just spam combos type of game where you just do anything you want and beat up everybody. But on Brutal, if you add a little more strategy to it, which is the tips I'm about to give you, and put them to use, then you will die a lot less and find it more enjoyable instead of frustrating from dying so much. So I mentioned the blockers and stuff like that. The blockers, like I said, can be super annoying and they can kill you a lot. Anybody on Brutal can really kill you. Even the little henchmen that you think weak, they'll hit you with that uppercut and put you right to sleep. But to get to the next tip, the breakdown of like stuns and guard breaks and like when to use them. Now to deal with the blockers, you need to use guard break abilities or guard break combos. So if you check your skills tree, you can see with that hero that you're currently playing which of their abilities break guards, and you need to use those abilities on the blockers so you can break that guard and kill them faster. Otherwise you're gonna die faster. Then you have stuns, and stuns, that stun breakdown there, that's an important one as well, because stuns fill up the stun bar, if that's the name of it. But the bar below the health bar is a bar that's going to get filled over time with doing damage. But if you do stun abilities, you fill a bar up faster, and once you fill that bar up, you get to do a takedown, which is another important thing to keep you alive more while playing Brutal, and it's like one of the main things you should be going for and using it anytime you see someone glowing up gold. To do a takedown, you hit Y and B, and then you're going to go ahead and do like some nice combo takedown type of ability, execution style, and you're going to get health back from that. So that's your best friend throughout the entire game. You want to do that as much as possible. Since we're talking about getting health back, make sure throughout the game you watch out for the green capsules that have health in them. So you break them and you get health. The best thing to do is to wait till you get low to use it on Brutal, because that stuff makes a difference in you making it to the next round of enemies and making it to that next checkpoint. Because on Brutal, you're basically fighting for the next checkpoint. Another thing you want to make sure you're doing is getting rid of the shooters. Like, those shooters are going to do massive unnoticed damage to you, or noticed depending on which shooter hit you, but that might be why you see your health zap down out of nowhere, or you just instantly die. Like, you got to get rid of the shooters first and then handle the rest after you get rid of all those shooters that's shooting at you while you're fighting. And the best way to do this is to use the ranged ability that hero has that you're playing with. Now for defense, being defensive. I know it's tempting to just spam X and Y all day and just beat ass, but that's going to increase the chances of you dying, because you need to defend yourself as well as you fight these enemies. I know, I was guilty of it too at first, but I passed a lot of the harder parts of the game by sitting back and by making sure that I'm also defending myself as I fight. So it's more so like a fight a little bit, defend yourself, fight a little bit, defend yourself. And you doing that based on how the enemies are attacking. So defend yourself. All of these tips are pretty important, but this is the most important one. Defend yourself. This is very important for the boss battles as well. When we get to that, you'll hear me say more. Defend yourself. Now the main ways to do this is to dodge or parry attacks. Dodge would be parry with RT. You can't use RT on the red circle. So you can dodge or parry attacks when you see those circles flare. Then some of the abilities you have allows you to defend yourself as well. Now with this takes timing, so you have to time it right when you hit B, time it right when you parry. And also keep in mind that some of those red abilities you might still get hit even though you dodged it, because you have to double dodge it, which is hitting B twice, and on PlayStation circle twice. Now, this is an important tip that I learned the hard way, but it helped me a bunch, especially in boss battles. Dodging when the ability is about to hit. Don't dodge because you've seen the circle. That's just a warning because an ability or attack is coming in. You have to dodge when the attack is about to hit. So the timing is a little offset. So imagine you see the circle, you wait just a second longer, then dodge. And this changes, timings and all that changes based on if you're going against a boss or the regular enemies. So keep that in mind. Next tip, use your hero super moves at the right times though. I found myself doing this, like holding on to the super abilities and waiting to the perfect moment when I realized, especially after dying a lot in these fights as I'm going through the game, I realized like I passed a lot of the sections when I started to use my abilities and at smart times, of course. So what I mean about smart times is like, for example, LB, you use that when you're about to die a lot of the times. That's the support ability. It usually maybe gives you and teammates health, or it gives you guys defenses. For example, here I survived right here and I could have died, or probably would have died if I didn't use it. I waited till I was low and used the LB ability and got my health back and continue fighting. Best time to use the RB ability is to do damage, of course, a group of enemies. And the best time to use your LB plus RB ability is in a huge group of enemies. I try to use it in a fresh pack that just surrounded me. When you surround it, best time to use that ability for sure. Use your abilities, use them smart at the right time, and it'll help a bunch. Don't hold them waiting for a boss battle. It's very easy to do that, like, okay, I'm gonna say this for the boss battle. No, use it because it's gonna come back in a minute 30 seconds, and that depends on gear and stuff you could put on to make it an even shorter cooldown. So use your ability. Next quick tip, watch and learn the moves of your enemies so you can know how to beat them for next time. So if you notice a weakness, it's probably a bunch of enemies on this game, so I wouldn't break it down in this video, but every enemy has a weakness essentially, so you want to use the right move to exploit their weaknesses and kill them faster. So watch and learn for stuff like that. Try all of your different combos, try all of your abilities, because you never know what'll work to help you beat a certain enemy. So that's pretty much it for the tips to beat the game on Brutal. So now you can go save the world. I hope these tips help. Drop a like if you want more videos like this on the Avengers. I definitely have more videos in mind for this game that'll be super helpful. But please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more future content. It's exclusive, and I'm out.